Hey, what's up guys, my name is Brett, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another Duel Links video, welcome back to our final video I think in the anniversary series I guess. We just got the SR Dream ticket and obviously the next two lots are a standard UR and a standard SR, which are probably going to be the same card pool, if not very similar to the previous prismatic ones, which I think you should know by now what to go into with those. But today we're going to go over the SR Dream ticket and talk about all of the good cards, in my opinion at least. And of course we're going to go through and redeem our Dream ticket on something. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to go through and see exactly what is actually in the ticket first of all. But let's go in, let's find this ticket here, SR Dream ticket. And as always we're going to sort by release date, because that makes it a lot easier for us. So clearly we have a ton of event cards in here, a ton of ranked duel cards, which I don't think again you should go into because they're pretty easy to get. Like maybe just don't bother with like Sea Dragon Lord. Like Blue Eyes or Dragon Spirit of White I think is the one of the better cards I think you can get, because obviously if you are free to play then you won't be able to get 3 of these, which 3 of them is pretty necessary for the Blue Eyes deck. So if you don't want to spend any money on Blue Eyes and you just want to chance it out with going into, Stardust Acceleration for the Silver's Cries, and you want to play a Blue Eyes to the max, then that was not a pun intended, but sure. You can get Dragon Spirit of White from this for free to pick up your third one, because you do get 2 of them in the Star deck, which you get with 1,000 gems I think it is. So that could be a nice card to pick up there. What else do we have here? Is actually, I'm going to quickly make this bigger. There we go. So we have all the Ducky Mirror stuff, and we know Ducky Mirrors right now are pretty much tier 1. They're doing insanely well on the rank ladder, of course. When you come into a mirror match, it gets a little bit hard. You need things to kind of counter that. And to me, Knight is one of the main ones, and you do kind of need 3. I know in my video I had 2 of them, and I've been playing them with 2, and they've been doing quite well. But 3 is kind of the optimal number you want. So maybe going for a third Knight or going for any Knights is going to be a good idea if you want to play that deck and you have some of the cards from the newest box, which they are pretty easy to get. In all honesty, they are like a pretty easy deck to build, pretty new player friendly. I guess I should put it, not free to play, but new player friendly. If you spend your gems wisely, then you can definitely get this deck and be able to play it to its maximum. What else do you have? I wouldn't recommend the UA stuff right now because they don't seem to be that great. Of course, Vampire stuff, if you want to play Vampires, are still a very good deck. Necro Valley isn't going to be doing too much to them, just because of how hard it is to pull that card. So for the moment, Vampires are pretty much fine. So if you want to go back through and get your Familiars, your Retainers, probably a good time to get at least one of them now. But I believe Vampires was a mini box, so maybe hold off on those because they're easy to get overall. So obviously you want to prioritize like main box SRs rather than mini box SRs in a way. That's what kind of makes this video hard to talk about, because there's a lot in here that you can kind of go for, and they're all kind of like as easy or as hard to get as others, and I'm really struggling out of this stuff for what I want to pick. Like obviously spellbook stuff, spellbooks still are really good, so if you want to go for your blue boy or for a third spellbook secrets, I'm gonna put that in there because I do want a third, just because spellbooks could be really good in the future, but obviously they're getting hit with fate, and it's gonna lower the consistency of that deck just a tiny bit. Okay, Treacherous Trap Hole. If you haven't got this card already, definitely get Treacherous. It still sees play, obviously not as much, and obviously if you play spellbooks it won't see as much play anymore now that it's sharing that spot with fate, but still a very good card. Also on this screen as well, Mask Change, definitely you need it at 3 for heroes. If you don't have 3 of them, get your third one. Definitely a very necessary card. That's why it's in the thumbnail. I think either this or Treacherous will be in the thumbnail of this video, but Mask Change is definitely up there. If I didn't have 3 already, I would definitely go in for that one. What else do we have? Hey Trunade. Again, it's a very obvious pick, but it's still a very good tech choice for Destiny heroes, for what other decks run traps. I guess Ducky Mirrors, because they have a lot of back row they can use. Vampires, I don't know, Patron is just a very good tech card to use anyway, so if you haven't got one of them already, you haven't got 2 of them, then I definitely suggest using Hatronade as an option. But everything else kind of isn't really screaming to me, honestly. It's kind of a hard amount to pick. I wouldn't pick Sea Stealth Attack because it's in the newest box. I mean, so's Mask Change, but Mass Change a much better deck right now than a Sea Stealth Attack is. There's just like a lot of the SR cards honestly get power crept really easily, which is a real shame. We're getting quite early on into Duel Links Lifecycle now. We're back in the GX era now, like right towards the start. So we've been through quite a bit. Finn Chalice, of course, is another really good card, and so is Wall of D. If you haven't got Wall of D yet, I don't know why. Like, you can get it in the mini box. That's the thing. A lot of these SR cards, and I'm saying this over and over again, but a lot of these cards are available in the Selection Box Mini, Selection Box 2, and Selection Box 1, which makes this video more interesting but harder to pick from, I think, because the UR cards, at least there's like some obvious omissions from that list, whereas it seems like all of the good SRs, the ones people really want, have actually been reprinted in some way and made easier to get. So what else is there in this list that we could possibly think of getting that actually would be okay? Like, you don't want to waste it on AMA or Super Rush because you can get that in a deal, and AMA is a farmable card, and like a lot of these stuff here are card trader cards, so again, you don't want to go in for those. Where is what's the card? There it is. Xing Zhen Hu. This card, I believe, has been seeing some decent amount of play in the MCS in Decades tournaments, so I'd probably recommend going in for one of these if you haven't got them already. It's a very old card. It's from one of the first like 2 or 3 boxes, I think it is, and saw a lot of play back then and right now, given that we are moving to, or we have been for a while, in a very back row heavy meta. This just lets you just lock down 2 spell and track cards on the field, including your own if you have to, which you don't really want to do. But still, it's a nice card to keep your opponent at bay and to give you a lot more opportunities to win your duels. And then we're getting just like towards the end, like Union Attack, you don't, again, not that. This honestly is a really hard list to go through and say definitively what's the best card. Then we've just got a bunch of AI cards, so like, honestly, like Xing Zhen Hu, the spellbook cards, like the Mask Change stuff, it's all fairly straightforward in reality, like with what you should get, because everything's been reprinted. Like, if you can go into the selection box and get things from there, then I definitely recommend it, because that just then makes, like, even if you just spend like the 2,000 gem allocation you have on that box and see what you pull, because chances are you'll end up pulling something you probably need from those packs, then like you might as well, rather than like wasting a ticket, unless you're like absolutely certain there's nothing else in that box you want. It's like, hey, Trunade, Treacherous Trap Hole is a good option, Dragon Spirit of White, Mask Change, what else? Like, the spellbook stuff obviously is really good. What is this? Escalation of the Monarchs. Once per turn, your opponent's main phase or your opponent's battle phase, Tribute Summon. That's kind of interesting. I don't even know if I'm gonna like do my SR Dream ticket in this one, because I still might go back into the selection box. I might end up pulling a Spellbook of Secrets, which would then make it completely irrelevant. Obviously, there's all the Gem Knight stuff in here as well, which I think Gem Knights is in a main box, I'd like to say, or a lot of it's in the main box. Some of it's, I think Fusion is in a mini box, but I think all the other fusions are actually in a main box, so they might be a good thing to go for. But honestly, like, if you wanted to play vampires by now, you probably would have all of the vampire cards, but if you haven't got them, go for your vampire stuff. If you want to play your Ducky Mirrors, again, go for your Knights, go for your 1 copy of Sandman. You don't need 3, you really need 1 of them. If you missed out on Blue Eyes, go for Dragon Spirit of White. That's probably the best advice I could possibly give for this selection of cards, because really there isn't too much here that's like unique to the card awards that you can't get from a selection box, that haven't been reprinted before, and that you should really have multiple copies of already, because a lot of the good SR cards, a lot of the best SR cards come in mini boxes. So I'm going to back out. That's going to be my recommendations for going into the SR Dream ticket. I'm going to quickly go through and redeem my 2 prismatic SR and URs. So what here haven't I got? And yes, this is going to be me padding for time. What haven't I got 3 of that I want? I'm actually going to use it on a DD Sprite, because I don't want to have to waste another rank ticket that I missed on that card, because I missed last season's UR ticket, so I didn't manage to get that. And then for my prismatic SR ticket, not SR Dream ticket, my prismatic SR ticket, we're going to get, like, you know, one of these synchros would be kind of nice, but honestly, I really want to play with wherever she is. There we go. Two-Night Magician Girl. We can now have 3 of them. The only way we're getting these cards is through tickets, so again I'd recommend picking her up from here because we haven't seen her return outside of anything else. But that's going to be done for today's Duel Links video. If you guys did enjoy, let me know your thoughts on the SR Dream Ticket in the comments down below. What card did you pick? Are you waiting to see what you end up pulling from the selection box? You could hold on to it for a couple of months because that's always another solid idea, just to hold on to it just in case Konami in a few months' time do decide to make a selection box 2 mini and actually release even more new cards and even more reprints of like vampire stuff or whatever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video. See you then.